How's it going, everybody? We're still at Port George here yet again. I know you probably want to see the water more than me, so we'll turn it right like this. I found a little sand spot here, so it's kind of nice. I can finally walk along. Basically, I walked up along the river trail, whatever you want to call it. I didn't really find anything I was looking for, though. I really didn't want to keep hiking either. I hiked it for about an hour. In retrospect, probably it wouldn't have been like an hour, but it was at least, I'd say, somewhere between 30 minutes to like a little higher than that, which is a pretty good fucking hike for not finding what I was looking for. But get some barnacles here, get some snails. I'll tell you though, it's actually been quite fun coming up here. My GoPro doesn't actually have as much battery as I thought it did. Plus I recorded the entire drive up. Basically, I've talked about that before. I'll be doing a video like that where it's going to be driving the way up kind of thing. It'll be kind of cool. The other thing I want to talk about here is the Facebook rant video. That'll be coming out. I mentioned it in one of my vlogs, but then I haven't actually worked on it yet, so it's still going to be a little bit before I actually come out with that and make it. But that's in production. That I got to just do a little more. I got to do some research onto it though. That's the biggest thing. We're gonna start walking away from the water, but that's the water. That's fucking Port George, boys. Good time right on the Bay of Fundy. And I got some half decent photos going too. So that was one of the biggest things, was take some photos. I'm gonna do a lot of photos of the places and the beaches I go, even to some of the places, and see if I can come up with some creative photos, and maybe I'll make like some albums and stuff. And then eventually I'll probably what I might do is, I've done this before, is get the digital prints of them. What the hell? Stick in the ground there. Get some digital prints of them, so print them off and you probably put them up into like some type of frame or something. I did that for PEI. The problem is when I go to a lot of places, for some reason, like the backup I have of the folder, or the file I have, and if I have a backup, is usually lost somehow, and it's due to like a stupid mistake, and then I'm sitting there with no photos. So when I did go to PEI, I printed off a bunch of photos. So I have like Cavendish Beach, I have like the Gables where we stayed. Pretty cool. So it's a good idea to do that, I think. So basically, yeah, if you're ever going anywhere, make sure that you, and they always say this, if you're going somewhere, you're going to make at least a couple copies of something you want to keep. Basically, I've always been told if something's not very important to you, you're not going to keep many copies. You're only going to keep a copy of it. But if you have 3 copies, then it's obviously a lot harder to lose all 3. So keep it in 3 different places, and that's the biggest thing. Like I said, when you go places, make sure you take tons of photos and enjoy it, because sometimes, like for me, for example, I've made the mistake of going places and then not having a good enough camera that could last, or you know, I didn't have a cell phone at the time, that it was just like a little slide phone with like no camera on it, and you really shoot yourself in the foot, because you have good opportunities to take some good photos and really look back on those memories, and you don't have them, right? Or for whatever reason, right? And it's really shitty when that stuff kind of happens. And unfortunately, the real problem with the situation is it does happen, and it's happened to me at least once, that in that criteria, that I don't even think I have a single photo. And the second one is actually kind of worse, or not worse, but it's like in the PEI one, where I don't have all the photos, or at least I don't think I do. I might, but I don't think that I do. But I at least have them digitally printed off, and they're inside of a frame, which I have in my room. So, oh my. So basically, at the end of the day, I'm trying to tell you that I'm not losing that one. That one's physical copy to me is a lot easier to hang on to than the digital, because the digital things happen in the computer and problems. So like, I'm just basically telling you, if you're gonna go somewhere and you're gonna take some photos and enjoy the trip, make sure when you're done that you back them up at least to like Facebook or something, or to the cloud, or to a thumb drive, or put two folders on your computer, because accidentally someone deletes it, or again, the computer needs to be wiped, or a virus, or fucking shit happens, man. But anyway, that's just it. It was just a little bit of a rant. I'm just letting you know that the day is good, and this is like the 3rd video, probably going to be like the last vlog up here. Might be the last vlog, maybe one more, up at the old Port George. And I'm just telling you, if you ever do go somewhere, yeah, fucking back your shit up, because that's a huge problem. And also, where I take IT, that's a huge security risk as well, because when you have sensitive data, sometimes having it in multiple locations is a good thing. Like for example, or maybe not more sensitive data, but like for example, like with our homework, keeping it in one spot is a bad idea, because if that gets lost, you're basically boned. So a good idea is to have a couple thumbsticks that you can plug in efficiently and back up your work too, which again is I think is a brilliant idea. So thank you so much for watching. We're gonna have to see you in the next video. Again, Port George here yet again, and I mean, look at these up here, hey? That looks pretty cool. Just all these rocks up here. Look at that, baby. Oh yeah. Okay, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.